Hello and Sunny Bonani. Welcome to Tier 2 BrakeAway Racing League action as Titus predicts a pole position for Man Ray. I was, panicking in the background here thinking that the stream was not up. But thankfully, it seems that everything is A-OK. As you can see, five drivers have crossed the line, and to make that 6, make that 7, make that 8. Just Tendo has just made it an 8-driver complement to have set a representative time. But top of the pops, and the driver to beat is none other than Man Ray, the veteran of the BrakeAway Racing League, setting a quickest time thus far, 1 minute 23.851, besting His Royal Highness the King Raptor by the smallest of margins. We have just over 12 and a half minutes of this session to go. Thank you for choosing a BrakeAway Racing League. We will be seeing you in the comment section. If you're enjoying this race and this action, please subscribe to our channel, like the stream if you have not done so already. We do look forward to seeing you in many races here to come. This is the on-board live with Stanley Mazanti representing McLaren, now having 12 or so minutes of this session to go. Stanley Mazanti opting to set their first representative lap on a set of medium compound tires, getting a sense of the track. Is this highly experienced driver at this point, Stanley Mazanti. Been a part of the Tier 2 setup for quite some time and has come fairly close to promotion to the top tier in seasons gone by. But, of course, work to do for Stanley, coming across the line with the 6th quickest time, but there's more pace in the bag, definitely. Oh, as Stanley sadly has left the session. Hopefully they can rekindle connection to the lobby. The Prince of South Africa also having a set of medium tires on, is currently having the 8th quickest time, and the Prince of South Africa making their way back into the pit lane. Just Tendo, 9th quickest, and Kid K has yet to come out of the pits. It seems that Tendo might just be giving it an almighty push here, navigating Sector 1. Careful not to ride those curves too much is Tendo in the Ferrari. And time will tell whether or not he can do something decent. He's found about 8/100ths of a second worth of improvement come the end of the first sector. Now, will that be a 10th and more come the end of Sector 2? Tendo looking to set those timing sheets alight. Work to do. It's daylight between themselves and the top driver, that being Man Ray, as you can see. 1 minute 29 versus 1:23. Work to do for Tendo. Falawe has just rejoined the lobby. Hopefully they can keep their place without any incident. And we will now look to see whether or not all will be well. 10 and a half minutes of the session to go. Welcome to BrakeAway Racing League action. Welcome to Yas Marina Circuit, Abu Dhabi. The 10th race of the season. What can Tendo do? How much more time can be found? Now navigating the hotel section, the 3rd and final sector. Touches the curve there through the right-hander. Not quite nailing the entry into the first of those two left-handers. Oh, he's on the brink there, as in Quali is the latest to dip out of this lobby. Hopefully they can be well and truly in, as Tendo misses the apex on the final corner. Will he find improvement? Yes, by half a second, but it is still not good enough to go any higher than 9th quickest as things currently stand. Tendo, work to do in Abu Dhabi. Kid K has finally come out of the pits as Falawe was in the session and now has retired, having just come into the lobby. So sad news there for Falawi. Hopefully they can be back in the reckoning. Work to do now as Man Ray, your pole sitter, is back to give another almighty push and to look to put a little bit of daylight between themselves and the P2 sitting Royal Highness King Rapture. Falawi back in the lobby as Man Ray is absolutely sending it, finding 3.5 tenths worth of improvement come the end of Sector 1. Very comfortable is Man Ray as things currently stand, and it is, of course, now up to the likes of His Royal Highness the King Rapture, Marshy, and M. Shengu to stake their claim to see what can be done. Kaboza will join late to make the podium, so says Stage Figure of Speech in the comment section. Oh, those brakes on the Mercedes W14 of Man Ray screeching under the floor there, as you can hear, as he made his way in towards the braking zone. We're going to hop on to the likes of the King Raptor, Marshy, and M. Shengu very, very soon. The Alfa Romeo of M. Shengu is the challenger that is currently on a push lap, as Man Ray has maintained that 5/10 advantage come the end of Sector 2. Now, the traction-demanding hotel section, as Man Ray misses the apex ever so slightly through the right-hander. He tries to adjust his line to make the apex of the double left-hander now, and he's on the brink. He's on the brink of track limits there, but it is still a valid lap as Man Ray looks set to maintain advantage. Towards the line comes Man Ray to improve on their time. It's a 1:23.322 for Man Ray. And M. Shengu also improves. He leapfrogs the King Raptor. 1:23.676 for the Alfa Romeo driver is a very, very good stuff indeed. And now it is up to you. The Royal Highness King Raptor, who has only found about almost a tenth and a half come the end of the first sector. Now, in through this chicane will come the Alpine driver, giving it the biggest push he possibly can with 7.5 minutes of the session to go. Currently third quickest was P2, but Man Ray has managed to stretch the legs of that Mercedes as Raptor finds 3.5 tenths worth of improvement come the end of the second sector. Now, in towards the hotel section for King Raptor. We're also going to take a look at how Kid K will fare at this point in time. With 7 minutes of this session to go, how much more time advantage can His Royal Highness the King Raptor find? It's going to be close. It's going to be provisional pole position. 123.196 is not to be scoffed at. His Royal Highness the King Raptor says, "You are all my subjects in this second tier." Sensational stuff by the Alpine driver. Estexa, meanwhile, has come across the line for the 5th quickest time thus far, while the Prince of South Africa has set a time that is currently 6th quickest out of all the contenders. Marshy is now down to P4 as things currently stand on an outlap. Possibly we will soon see them out on track. What an effort that was by His Royal Highness the King Raptor. Titus is here in the comment section. Romeo Madla is here. Sage, figure of speech, predicts a Caboza masterclass once again, as we now look to see whether or not we can get some more action in this session, this lobby. 12 active drivers. Hopefully Folewi can be racing by the time this race kicks off in earnest. It's an in lap for Estexa, and Marshy might just be on a push lap here. It seems that is definitely the case. Man Ray can never dominate tier 2. Rapture is not letting him breathe, so says Mandla in the comment section, applying the pressure on the veteran Man Ray, who has just been leapfrogged for that provisional pole position. Less than 5.5 minutes of the session to go, and sadly, Marshy not quite finding the performance that he needs. He's down by 0.3 of a second come the end of that second sector in this first and only qualifying session for the tier 2 showcase. Work to do for Marshy. King Rapture, provisional pole. Man Ray is 2nd. M. Shengu 3rd. Marshy 4th. Estexa currently 5th. And, of course, making their way back into the pits is the Alpha Tauri of Estexa. The Prince of South Africa is 6th. Sanley Mazansi 7th. And Kwali is 8th from just Tendo in 9th. And then sadly Falawe has yet to set a representative time, but that car was retired early doors out here. Spizozo and Kid K now in their outlaps. Perhaps it'll be a one and only push lap for the likes of Spizozo and Kid K. So we will see how that goes. Kid K, well, really crawling here, biding their time as Spizozo is closer to beginning their push lap. So we'll stay on board with the Ferrari superstar here. Spizozo, the Sultan of straight line speed, is now hurtling towards the end of the first sector, and it's a 18.092 as the slow-moving Williams makes way for the Ferrari. Loves a low downforce setup. That Spizoso is absolutely lethal in a straight line and on DRS straights. Let's see whether or not he can do something special here in this qualifying session. The entry onto the final part of that chicane, costing him dearly. Spizoso over there. So work to do as far as making sure that sectors 2 and 3 are inch perfect. 55.1 as he now comes into the long looping left-hander. Do wonder if he's still pushing in earnest here, because Spizoso, well, by the sounds of that engine, seemed to have lifted off the throttle significantly on the exit of a turn, I think number 9 that was. So we'll see whether or not it's a legit push lap, as the Nuccio, aka Peace, says Forza Ferrari, cheering on the likes of Spizoso and just Tendo this time around. Yeah, it does not seem that Spizoso was pushing. He definitely abandoned that. Meanwhile, Kid K is leaving nothing to chance, giving it a proper push. Here he comes now towards the line. 23-24. What'll it be for the Mercedes driver? P9 with a 25.883. Kid K is up to 9th. The Prince of South Africa has just crossed the line to begin what could be their final push lap attempt. The Prince of South Africa has had joy on previous races as far as qualifying is concerned, and we do know that he is one to recover over the course of a race distance. Here he comes now towards the end of the first sector, and sadly, he is down by about 1/10.5 of a second. Work to do for the Prince of South Africa, the Williams superstar. Now, on the first DRS stretch of this here circuit, he's looking to give it his absolute all, as the likes of Raptor and Man Ray are on their outlap, soon to begin their final push laps here. I do wonder if the Prince of South Africa is likely to pass them. May yet be the case. It seems M. Shengu is on their final push lap as well. We'll hop on board with them to see how they will fare, as Man Ray has already begun their final push lap. Just about a minute and a half of this session to go. The Prince of South Africa is not having any joy, and it seems he's abandoned that push lap, perhaps has enough battery power in the bag, so to speak, to be able to give it an almighty push. It seems Mshengu found improvement through the first and second sector. What'll it be now through sector 3, the hotel section? On board we are with the Alfa Romeo superstar, who is no slouch through qualifying. A minute of this session to go. What can Mshengu do? 123.676 was the best that he could do. He has found improvements through these initial 2 sectors. Here he comes now through the final corner. He has just meters to go now. It's Mshengu towards the line. And it is still P3 with a 23.355. Work to do for Mshengu. Stanley Mazzanti is still in the pits, as Man Ray has invalidated on his final push lap attempt. He will not be able to improve, will not have enough time to come all the way towards the line. Man Ray will hope for P2 and hope not to be pipped by the likes of Marshy, who may not have enough time here to go all the way around. His Royal Highness the King Raptor might not be aware of Man Ray's invalidation at this point, but despite that, he is down on his time, down by about 1/10 of a second. We have just under 30 seconds of this session to go. Let's see what His Royal Highness the King Raptor can conjure up through sectors 2 and 3. He is flat out here towards the braking zone. The chicane here to come. 9 seconds to go. Just Tendo is on a push lap. San Limazanti is not. And Quali is on a push lap. We'll catch up with them to see how they fare. This is His Royal Highness, however, making his way towards turn number 9 and the end of sector 2. What'll it be as Man Ray has come back into the pits? It's an improvement by more than 1/10 of a second. So King Raptor looking sensational. Oh, and as I say that, he loses it on the exit of 9. But it may not matter here, because King Raptor did enough. He did enough. It did His Royal Highness the King Raptor. And is he still giving it an almighty push? It may not matter, because it does not seem like the contenders would be able to challenge. But did I speak too soon? What about Marshy here? As the bulk of these drivers have already taken the checkered flag, Marshy seems, is still giving it an almighty push over here. Can he leapfrog Man Ray or M. Shengu? It is now or never for the half superstar. Towards the line, he crosses the line, then it is still P4 for Marshy. And His Royal Highness, the King Raptor, takes pole position in Abu Dhabi. Man Ray will start in P2, M. Shengu will start in third, Marshy fourth, Espexa fifth, the Prince of South Africa will start in P6, Sadele Mazanti will start from 7th place, and Kwali 8th, Kid K 9th, Just Tendo 10th, and Falawe Spizozo not setting representative times. Fingers crossed that they will be able to start in earnest. Spizozo did not leave the lobby. Falawe has been dipping in and out. But let us see if they can maintain their positions here in this race. There it is, folks. 1.2 tenths separating His Royal Highness the King Raptor from Man Ray, and Shengu not very far behind, just a tenth and a half there from the pole setting time. Marshy 2 tenths off the pace. Espexa is about 8 tenths, and then we have the Prince of South Africa in 6th. Sadele Mazanti set that time on the mediums, as did Nkwali. Kid K on the soft, and Just Tendo. The two drivers at the back of the pack definitely have their work cut out. 3 sets of tires each for the pole sitter, all the way down to P4, while Espexa used 2 sets. It's 4 sets, including a set of mediums for the Prince of South Africa, and Sadele Mazanti using the 1 set of mediums. 3 sets of tires for Just Tendo, 1 for Falawe, sadly no representative time. Spizozo, the Sultan of Straight Line Speed, used 2 sets of soft tires, but no representative time. Up next, we go racing in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for choosing BrakeAway Racing League. Please like the stream, subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. There we are, soon to go racing on this beautiful circuit, which has served up its fair share of drama over recent years, but we look forward to nothing less than fantastic racing. Thoughts, comments, predictions on how this race will pan out. Not sure if Kaboza managed to join this year lobby in time. I did not take note of Kaboza's gamer tag at the bottom of the screen throughout this qualifying session. If you did, then perhaps Sage Figure of Speech will be A1, absolutely correct in their pre-race prediction, but time will tell. As the former champion of the top tier, Titus says, may the best racer win. May the best man prevail, says Titus in the comments section. Who will that be? It's only a matter of seconds, folks. Here we go. It is 4 lights, 5 lights. The only time the South Africans afford. So the lights going out. 29 laps of racing around Abu Dhabi. What is that? It's Man Ray off the circuit and a safety car. What is going on? It seems we might just have a glitch on our hands here. First lap safety car with no incidents. What in the world is going on? Was it one of the drivers perhaps whose presence in the lobby made this lobby, compromised this lobby? I will make sure that I just check in to make sure that everything is a-okay. This track is always glitching, says Django. Absolutely, I remember Tier 1 issues some seasons ago. But just to check it in, folks, I'm going to make sure that everything is all right. One moment. All right, folks, we have the compromised lobby. We now have to leave and begin everything from scratch. We do apologize. Usually towards the end of a game cycle, that is when we start to see many issues. And of course, with F124 on the horizon, lo and behold, we now have glitchy lobbies. So we do apologize for that. Please do give us some time, and we will set up the fresh lobby pronto. Just temporary memory of Folawe. All right, folks, we're just hoping that the Sultan of Straight Line Speeds by Zozo can rejoin the lobby as quick as possible. And then we could get racing. All right, folks, we're just doing our best to make sure that Spizozo is in the lobby as quickly as possible, and then we will go racing in Abu Dhabi. And there we go. Spizozo is in the track, or rather in the lobby, I beg your pardon. What the hell is going on? All right. Why do I have to start this damn thing again? All right, folks, we should be going pretty soon. Thank you for your patience. We should be ready to go in a second. His Royal Highness the King Rapture should be selecting their car in a moment, we do hope. We will have 29 laps around the Abu Dhabi circuit. We do hope for some sensational racing, as His Royal Highness the King Rapture has selected the Alpine in due course. 29 laps we hope to have without any incidents. The drivers now making sure that they have all the necessary inputs and set up adjustments to their cars, including, of course, tire compounds. As we get a look at the spectators who have the plush seats in the famed Paddock Club, which is, of course, quite costly. Love to hear your thoughts on who you expect to be doing well in this here circuit. Hopefully we have seen the last of the issues here today. King Rapture versus Man Ray versus M. Shangu at the business end of this grid. Let's see who can get a good run. I'm sure Man Ray was grinning from ear to ear before we got that unfortunate glitch. He was thinking, well, I got off the line earlier than everybody. He raced ahead of the pack, was about 9 seconds ahead of everybody by the time we decided to switch over towards a new lobby. Well, here we go. Welcome to Abu Dhabi. We do hope that we will get a beautiful race again. It is lights out. And away we go in Abu Dhabi. His Royal Highness the King Rapture has the lead thus far. It seems like Marshy is going for it. It is a huge stack, but Marshy is up to third, overtaking M. Shangu in the early parts of this race. It is also close between the likes of the Prince of South Africa and M. Shangu on ahead. Behind the Prince is a Stexa, and then looks like they're going to go side by side early on. Will they? No, they will not. They're going to seem to keep things civil here as they come now through turn 5. Oh, through the inside goes Estexa. It's a sensational overtake. The Prince of South Africa took the long way around, but Estexa needed no second invitation. Through goes Sadley Mazanti now as they make their way through towards the braking zone. Let's take a look at who exactly got the jump and who exactly moved further ahead. One position gain for Marshy as well as Sadley Mazanti. Beautiful stuff. Oh, as the smoke starts billowing through the midfield here, they bang wheeled to the Alfa Romeo of Nkwali and the Prince of South Africa. But they're keeping it clean here as they all go rushing towards turn number 9. It is not pandemonium, thankfully. We have a clean start for everybody here. Spizozo, the Sultan of straight line speed, has gained 2 places since the start of this race. So good looking for him over there. And now Nkwali and the Prince of South Africa go battling once again. It looks like the Prince has gone down 2 places, not looking very comfortable, as Kid K is now on the hunt on the Williams driver. The top 2 drivers have a little bit of daylight between them. It's a second and a half. Oh, Kid K is struggling through the hotel section here. Just Tendo or Spizozo will not need a second invitation. He goes through up to P9 now, and Falawe gains that extra place as Kid K struggles and slips and slides all the way down to P11. Meanwhile, at the front, His Royal Highness the King Rapture is in the lead. He took pole position and he's firmly in control, I beg your pardon, of this race. Whoa, I'm losing my voice over here, and we're barely 2 laps in. That is the tire strategy, folks. Expected to stop pit between laps 14 to 19, depending, of course, on the tire compound that they started with. Marshy looking very good, inching closer and closer to the back of Man Ray, who has fallen 1.2 seconds behind the race leader. On board we go with Mshengu, who has started this race on a set of medium compound tires, as has, of course, everybody on this grid. The hat of Marshy sends some smoke billowing into the air, courtesy of those tires really screeching there through that chicane. They're now racing past the kink, that being turn number 8, towards turn number 9. Of course, that beautiful upcoming left-hander here looks like His Royal Highness the King Rapture losing a little bit of ground here. Now it's Marshy's turn to have fallen 1.2 seconds behind the drivers he's chasing. Shengu has fallen behind. That'll bring Estexa and Stanley Mazanti possibly into the reckoning. The McLaren of Stanley Mazanti looking very, very comfortable here, applying the pressure on Estexa early on. They're about to begin the 3rd lap of this race. His Royal Highness the King Rapture will come under pressure for the lead of this race. He crosses the line with the fastest lap, quickly snatched away by Man Ray, who was looking very comfortable in these conditions here in Abu Dhabi. It is a beautiful dusk sky that we're seeing over here. Of course, no rain expected, as was the case through the initial lobby. It is going to be clear skies as we made sure in this fresh lobby. Now, 3 laps gone, 29 to go. Well, come the end of this race, of course, 3 laps gone. We still have a lot of racing still to go here, folks. I want to hear your thoughts on who you expect to be applying a lot of pressure. As Sadley Mazanti thinks about it, but he's just going to stay tucked in the slipstream of that car. But I spoke too soon because he goes for it towards the chicane. Now Sadley Mazanti takes that spot from Estexa, now up to P5 on those medium compound tires, on which he looked very comfortable throughout qualifying. Sadley Mazanti getting the overtake done. Meanwhile, the Prince of South Africa versus Nkwali, a battle resuming. He lost a couple of places as he started. The Prince of South Africa was taken advantage of by a slew of drivers, now looking to claw his way back into the reckoning for a decent point haul. It's certainly something better than the P8 position that he currently occupies. Applying the pressure on Nkwali, who is not going to go down without a fight on Wednesday action night over here. Loses the rear ever so slightly. It just twitches away from the Alfa Romeo of Nkwali. And the Prince of South Africa looking just to bide their time with only 4 laps elapsed in Abu Dhabi. They ride the apex of that final corner. And the Prince of South Africa, still with a decent amount of battery power remaining, looking to apply all of that pressure to the driver in P7. Just to get a sense, it is 79% of battery power remaining for the Prince of South Africa, chasing very closely, while the P7 running driver is sitting at about 83%. Meanwhile, at the front. It is Man Ray on the hunt, on the inside, and into the lead of the race. His Royal Highness the King Rapture is not going to go down without a fight. Oh no! They made contact, and it's 3, it's 4 drivers going nose to tail here. Picking out the yellow flags here at the chicane. Marshy and Shangu, even Stanley Mazanti is there to take advantage of the early carnage. Man Ray was in the lead of this race. He slipped down to P9. Courtesy of that moment with the King Rapture, who is surged ahead. It's a 3-way battle now into its turn number 9, and Sam Lemazanti's on the inside of Esclexa. They made a little bit of contact. Shangu, how much of his wing is damaged over there? Esclexa now up to the podium places as the yellow flags are waving all over here. And now Marshy is in lead, in control of this race. Drama with fire emojis, says Smirch Jangle. What happened to the King Rapture, who snatched the lead courtesy of that early drama? I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of warnings that are flying over here. We're on board now with Falawe, who watches the Prince of South Africa go wide. And it looks like it's a slew of pit stops of those early leaders who made such dramatic amount of contact between them. Falawi, who started this race at the back of the pack, now up to P5, is in chance. A golden opportunity here of a possible podium, possible race win here. Meanwhile, Saturday Mazanti is in the hunt for a possible race win in this dramatic race in Abu Dhabi. He has got about 62% worth of his battery power, and he is going to thank his lucky stars because now he goes wheel to wheel with Esclexa, who was leading the race in a fifth and dramatic lap here in Abu Dhabi, and now Sadley Mazanti snatches the lead of this race. 5 laps gone. The drama is jaw-dropping here in Abu Dhabi. It is Esclexa who now has to contend with P2 for at least this lap and beyond. Can he fight back? Highly experienced as Esclexa. He is not going to panic. He knows he is a golden opportunity for something special over here. These two are running also close. It is a sensationally tight battle between the likes of Nkwali and Man Ray down in the midfield. We will catch up with them to see how that fares. Man Ray, of course, that came off absolute worst there. He was fighting for the race lead, and then he slipped all the way down into the lower midfield of this 12-driver field. It is absolutely sensational drama over here. Man Ray will be absolutely seething, but now it is going to be a test of wits to see what Man Ray can do. The highly experienced campaigner, formerly of the top tier for so many seasons, now needs to show his pedigree as we now watch to see what Esclexa can do versus Saturday Mazanti. Using up so much of his battery power is Esclexa now down to about the 24% mark. So he knows now that he's got it all to do. Saturday Mazanti perhaps using up what little is left of their battery power. Just creates a bit of daylight. It's half a second separating the two leading drivers. They've established a bit of daylight between themselves and the chasing pack. The Prince of South Africa was in the lower midfield when this race started, but look at them. Now P3, now in the podium places. Looking absolutely sensational and very comfortable, I would say. Here comes Esclexa on the attack, looking to snatch away the race lead once again through towards turn number 9, and he is ahead, but can he keep it? Will they band wheels? No, they try to give each other a little bit of room, and Esclexa through the long way around, hands on to the lead of this race. Saddler Mazanti, will he go for it? No, he has to slam the brakes now in towards the hotel section, and it is also close between these two. It is heart in mouth moment for Saddler Mazanti and Esclexa. 6 laps gone. All the drama out here in Abu Dhabi, and less than half a second separating our leading drivers. They're pretty much matched for pace. As you can see, Saturday Mazanti telling Esclexa, you shall not get too far away. And we did see how much battery power the AlphaTauri driver used just to make sure that he stayed in the reckoning. Meanwhile, in the battle towards the third and final podium space, Falawe has gone towards the podium place from the back of the pack to P3. Oh, hail Falawe for Team Aston Martin. Sensational stuff by the Aston Martin superstar, overtaking the Prince of South Africa in the 7th lap. And the Williams driver now has to contend with P4, knowing that His Royal Highness on a recovery drive is on the hunt. Now, P5 was the former race leader as Saturday Mazanti reclaims the lead of the race once again. It is oh so tight at the top, at the business end of this race here in Abu Dhabi. Saturday Mazanti, Esclexa, exchanging positions, passing the baton of the race lead from McLaren to AlphaTauri, to McLaren to AlphaTauri with just 7 laps gone, and turn number 9. was where Espexa found a lot of joy in the previous chapter of this battle. Of course, Espexa went the long way around, but this time he's just content to stay within DRS of San Lemazanti and try to manage that battery power. But is he doing so? Yep, he seems to be recharging the battery. It was in the 20s, now 32% is Espexa's battery power compared to 41% that San Lemazanti currently has. Oh no! On the exit of the corner! Espexa gets it completely wrong, crashes into the wall, loses a little bit of debris. Falawe now up to P2, and here comes the Prince of South Africa, looking to take advantage of the stricken AlphaTauri, who goes off track through the initial corner. The Prince of South Africa is in the podium places. Falawe is now contending for the win of this race, and Espexa is in 6s and 7s as he now goes down to P5. The stricken AlphaTauri got it all so wrong at the final, on the exit of the final corner. He had no pit stop reprieve as King Rapture becomes the first driver to earn a 3-second time penalty for track limit incursions. We're now on board with Nkwali, running in P6, hunting down the AlphaTauri. Kaposa's teammate, oh, try not to outbrake yourself. They make contact, and now Nkwali has to give way. And then Nkwali will be also glad that he's got a 3.6 second buffer, make that 3.8 between himself and the chasing Spizozo. Here he comes now on the attack into turn number 9, where Espexa had joy all those laps ago. Now Nkwali says, thank you very much, I will leapfrog you into P5. Espexa will most surely have to come into the pits. So many chapters, so many instances of people fighting for race wins, and then having their races fall apart. Espexa, the latest of the, potentially race-winning contenders to come a cropper here. We saw Man Ray, Marshy, His Royal Highness the King Rapture, mired in some controversy in the early part of this race. And now Espexa, the latest, who would have been hoping for so much more, to now have to come all the way into the pits with 20 laps of racing still remaining. He was on the mediums, and will he follow Marshy's lead? It is a wing change, of course, and he fits a set of hard compound tires, as did Mshengu 3 laps ago. Mshengu, of course, was also mired in that early drama. Now he's trying to recover and have a decent race between now and the end of this showcase. Currently running in 10th. So much work to do for Mshengu. Espexa will be absolutely heartbroken at how all of that panned out. San Lemazanti now in control, in the command of this race, leading 4.5 seconds ahead of Falawe. And what a day it is for the the Aston Martin Superstar. Started all the way at the back of this pack and now is firmly in the podium places. Oh, as I say that, has a huge moment there. In the beginning of the hotel section that would have given the Prince of South Africa a lot of hope. Here comes the Williams Superstar, 1.8 seconds behind Falawe. His Royal Highness the King Rapture inching closer and closer to the Prince of South Africa. The King and the Prince running in formation, P3, P4, currently 10 laps gone in Abu Dhabi. A beautifully dramatic race. I see there are about, 8 of you watching here. Yet, we only have 2, now 3 likes to the stream. Please like the stream, folks. It goes a long way as far as the prospects of our YouTube channel are concerned. What a beautiful advertisement for BrakeAway League Racing that these Tier 2 superstars have put on here today. His Royal Highness the King Rapture trying to bridge that gap to the Prince of South Africa. 1.7 seconds is the margin. Nkwali is a further 2.9 seconds behind His Royal Highness Spizozo. The Sultan of Straight Line Speed is in P6. Man Ray on a recovery drive, inching closer and closer to the back of the Ferrari Superstar, is currently P7. Marshy had an alternate tire strategy, courtesy of that early moment which cost them the integrity of their car. P8. Kid K is 9th. Mshengu is 5 seconds behind the Mercedes driver. In P10, Espexa, who we saw coming into the pits, is 11th. Just Tendo, rounding off the rest of the pack. Back on board we go with Man Ray, who was inching closer and closer to Spizozo, but, in the space of just a sector or two, he has lost all that ground. Man Ray was within DRS of Spizozo, But, oh no, it's another mistake for Man Ray, and gives that position away to Marshy. Oh, an unforced error after unforced error. He was unfortunate, was Man Ray in the early stage of this race, but this one, as we all saw from that overhead, that helicopter view, it was a mistake by Man Ray, costing him P7. Oh, Man Ray having an absolute clanger, howler of a day. Mercedes fans, look away. You are invited to avert your gaze. Man Ray is not having such a great day. Spizoso becomes the latest, joined swiftly by Justendo to be the contingent, 3-driver contingent to be sanctioned by 3 seconds for track limit incursions. Now, we're going to hop on board with Mshengu, who has inched towards the rear of Kid K. Is Kid K just trying to break the toe, or is Kid K just opening up and giving up the position without a fight? Nope, he was using his battery power with Kid K, but it shall not be enough. Mshengu gets the cleanest, the easiest of overtakes. Now in towards the chicane. How hard will Kid K fight it? Try as he might, he loses all that ground, and Mshengu seems to have much too much pace. And as they now hurtle towards turn number 9, Kid K huffs and puffs, but is not close enough to have a significant impact in the battle versus Mshengu, who himself is on a recovery drive, you would remember. Kid K, work to do for the Mercedes Superstar, 12 laps gone. Well, Smurch Jangle, the comment section below was enjoying the drama as, Kid K makes a mistake in exactly the same sector, exactly the same section, where their teammate Man Ray also came a cropper. His Royal Highness the King Rapture finally gets that wing change, confirming, of course, the issue that saw him tumbling down the order. It was a wing change as well as a tire change towards the hearts, which we can reasonably assume will be taken towards the end of this race. He almost made contact with the wall, trying to navigate his way towards the exit of the pit lane. Now he's out on track, still in the point, but work to do as he tries to fight his way up. It looks like Spizoso and Marshy banging wheelchair through the chicane, and Marshy muscles their way up towards consolidating that P5 spot. But Spizoso, being Spizoso, will not go down without a fight. It's Wednesday action night. There's a yellow flag on another section of the track. Is it the Aston Martin of Falawe, I wonder? It might be. It's a slow-moving car, but it's green flags now. No, it does not seem to have been Falawe, who is still inching closer and closer to Satellite Mazanti. On board we stay with Spizoso trying to reel Marshy back in, and Quali and the Prince of South Africa also having a titanic tussle. A little bit further ahead. The Prince of South Africa here relents and comes into the pits, and Marshy gets promoted to P4 as a result. Man Ray also comes into the pits here. Oh no! And it's a 5-second time penalty for Man Ray, whose day goes from bad to worse. Mistake after mistake, costing the veteran driver, formerly of the top tier, precious time on track, and now a 5-second time penalty to boot. Work to do for Man Ray. Kid K is now under pressure, under duress from Espexa. On those aging medium tires, Espexa will want to make light work of Kid K, who gets it completely wrong here in the initial quarters, and thankfully that car is still on track. All these unforced errors really forcing some heart-in-mouth moments here. Kid K got his work cut out, and that car is still on track, as now in Quali, also on these 12-lap old mediums, has now caught up to the back of Marshy. In Quali, managing to get past to avoid most of the major drama here. And it seems like at this particular point in time, the medium, all these medium tire runners definitely suffering, as Titus asks, hey, what does Man Ray have in common with the South African soccer team Kaiser Chiefs? And Quali gets it completely wrong, and he goes complete to the pit wall here as he tried to bring that Romeo into the pit. He loses a wing, and that'll cost him A, precious time, and B, it's a 5-second time penalty It was going to be an incidentless pit stop, but, oh, well, he loses all of that precious time and a 5-second time penalty to boot. So many unforced errors here in Abu Dhabi. I do hope that Tier 1 is equally entertaining as far as the pure racing action is concerned. Don Rabico was one of the viewers here in this stream. I do wonder what the champion of the top tier makes of this, as Kid K is the latest driver to come into the pits now. Sadler Mazansi, Falawi, and Spizozo are the 3 drivers who have yet to pit. And you could add just Tendo to that contingent, but he is also far behind is Tendo. He's about 8. Oh no! Sanley Mazansi! Sanley Mazansi loses connection to the lobby! Oh, load shedding Sanley Mazansi. And that is that. And that will gift the lead of this race to Falawi as the ghost of Sanley Mazansi finally comes into the pit. Falawi follows suit. What will Marshy do? Oh no! He gets a 5-second time penalty! These unforced errors costing these superstars dearly. And that'll bring Marshy Spizozo into the reckoning. Or are they too far behind to be able to take advantage of that 5-second time penalty? Sanley Mazansi's ghost will fall further and further behind courtesy of load shedding there. Falawi's 5-second time penalty will cost them dearly, and now he's being slowed down by the ghost of Sanley Mazansi. And that'll be good news for the likes of King Rapture, who, at this point in time, will be close enough to have a say in the lead of this race. That time penalty brings King Rapture into the reckoning. Falawi overtakes the stricken Sanley Mazansi. Here comes the King Rapture on the inside of the ghost of Sanley Mazansi. And now we have a 2-way fight for the lead of this race, because, of course, Spizozo has to come into the pits later on. They're weaving left and right. Falawi trying to get some temperature into those tires, but he best not interrupt the King Rapture, who will try not to be compromised by that. They're oh so close. It is now the battle, ostensibly, for the lead of this race. King Rapture has a 3-second time penalty. Falawi has a 5-second time penalty for that pit stop mistake. King Rapture for the possible lead of this race here, as Spizozo needs to come into the pits. But when will that be? Time will tell here. Speed trap in the pit lane is overheating from so many cars going in. So says Titus in the comments section. Let's now get a sense of the interval here. Oh, the King Rapture trying not to lose ground here. But as I say that, he loses about 0.2 to Falawi. These two giving us some sensational action. We do hope and pray that Falawi's network stays intact between now and the end of this race, because we have something special, something beautiful, something sensational in the prospect of this race win. Spizozo going for an absolute Hail Mary of a tire strategy here. 15-lap old mediums, the same set that he started this race with. Also has the time penalty to boot. And now King Rapture, that was the exit of 5. They're now making their way towards the chicane of the 6 and 7. They're bridging that gap. It is now less than 5 seconds. It's 4.5 seconds. Why? Who brought out the safety car? Oh, it's going to be a free pit stop for Spizozo. Well. It is a little bit of the daylight. Will Marshy opt to come into the pits once again, considering that it is 8 seconds between P3 and 4? Would you do that? Spizozo's ancestors are with him. So says the Nucho, a.k.a. Peace. Spizozo, the Sultan of straight line speed, grinning from ear to ear here. He has a reprieve, a pit stop under the safety car, which will save him a whole lot of time here, folks. Let's take a look at the penalty situation. It's just 3 seconds. Do not get a time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. He slammed the brakes, did Spizozo over there. It seems Falawi opted to stay out. King Rapture rolling the dice. He rolled the dice, this King Rapture. So he's happy, of course, rolling the dice, knowing, of course, the gap towards the leaders, or rather the gap that Marshy had. And knowing, of course, he might be getting advice from some race engineers, he might be getting told that that Stanley Mazzanti is no longer in this race, so that would be an easy overtake. So he has to now overcome Stanley Mazzanti and Spy Zozo. Oh no, Kid K. Drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Rookie mistakes for the experienced driver, veteran of the second tier, Kid K, in the Mercedes, also not having such a great day out here. Under the safety car in the 16th lap of the race. Well. King Rapture. Oh, Kid K comes to a complete stop. What was that? Kid K said, I am not going to get penalized as everybody else was earlier on. Oh, it's a wing change. Perhaps Kid K. Oh no, Kid K retires from the race. That wingless Mercedes perhaps was the reason why the safety car came out. Kid K no longer racing, meaning Just Tendo has an opportunity. But I tell you what, he's so far behind is Tendo. But this safety car will make sure that he manages to bridge that gap, because he was almost lapped, was Tendo. But now has a golden opportunity to catch up. Falawe, one of the newest drivers to the BrakeAway Racing League roster, has a golden opportunity for something special here. But that 5-second time penalty will cost them dearly. Marshy, what a day for the Haas superstar. No time penalties, knowing that everybody around them has 3 seconds to contend with. So he best keep things clean and without incident. Marshy, golden opportunity for a very, very special result here. 3-lap old mediums for the driver in P2. Spy Zozo, the Sultan of straight line speed, currently in the podium places. The Ghost of Stanley Mazzanti is running in P4. His Royal Highness, the King Rapture, will look to make light work of the Stanley's car. P5 for them. In Quali, P6, Aspexa is 7th. Man Ray, currently 8th. The Prince of South Africa is 9th. Mshengu is 10th. And Tendo rounds off the pack as he tries to catch up. None of the drivers from P7 to 10 have time penalties to worry about. This is going to be good news for them. Aspects that Man Ray, the Prince of South Africa, and Mshengu will know what they have to do here. Prince of South Africa taking an alternate strategy here, opting for softs, which may yet be suffering when all is said and done here. So the Prince of South Africa will know that, well, when we get going, when we get racing once again, he's going to have to try and overcome Man Ray and Espexa, and perhaps in Quali. Can the Prince of South Africa get it done? Time will tell. Thank you for choosing BrakeAway Racing League. This is Tier 2 action in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Please remember to like the stream if you have not done so already. I see we have not gotten many stream likes. Please like the stream. It goes a long way towards our prospects here on YouTube. Hopefully Race Control will give the word that the safety car is coming to an end very, very soon. And as I say that, there it is. Safety car is in at the end of the slap. Falawe in control, in command, in the lead of this race. How will they get us back to racing action? Abu Dhabi, the scene of some hectic drama. The scene of Zotal's heartbreak, if I'm not mistaken, came very close to winning on the circuit a couple of seasons ago. Ban Kobe had their heart broken over here, courtesy of a collision, and that was not their fault. There goes Falawe, who will be chased, of course, by Marshy on the exit of the final corner. Oh, when it's daylight between Falawe and Marshy. It's a sensational start as the King Rapture overcomes the Ghost of Stanley Mazzanti in Quali. Follows suit. Here comes the Specs as well, looking to make light work of Stanley Mazzanti. Through they go, as does the likes of Man Ray and the Prince of South Africa. Back to the front we go. Yellow flag. Mshengu is out. Mshengu crashes out. bringing out another safety car. Oh no. Sanley Mazansi. Mshengu might have made contact with the ghost of Sanley Mazansi, and it is rotten luck. The safety car, just as we were getting racing once again, Falawe had a flawless restart, catching Marshy completely off guard. And we'll now have to do it all over again. It's a full safety car. It says virtual over there, but as you can see on the track map, folks, the safety car, the full safety car, is out once again. Mshengu crashing out at the restart. Heartbreak for the Alfa Romeo driver. Work to do now. And we will get a couple more laps behind the safety car. And I'll tell you what, one of the big winners of the restart is just Tendo, who was all the way at the back, but took advantage of that carnage, and now is in 7th, comfortably within the points. Everybody will now get a championship point. All you need to do now is just keep that car on track. Back behind the safety car, we are Falawe still in command. Marshy, P2. Spizozo, the Sultan of Straight Line Speed, is now 3rd. His Royal Highness the King Rapture is 4th. And Quali is 5th. Who will come into the pits as the Nucha says, you know what, I'd go for softs. I'd roll the dice here, especially if you're in the midfield onwards. But everybody opting to stay out, which is surprising, especially for the likes of the Prince of South Africa. But he's opting to keep track position here. Tendo, oh no, severe collision. 5-second time penalty for just Tendo. Did he lose a wing? Did the Ferrari driver? We'll just look closely to see. No, wing seems to be intact. Sabawella Podium says that Caboza in the comment section, who Caboza was predicted to be on the podium had he joined the lobby late. Sadly, no racing for Caboza today. No podium as a result. Tendo, work to do. Went all the way from the back to P7 at that restart. Mshengu, the latest casualty, the latest reason for this current safety car. If you've just joined us, it's been a sensationally entertaining race, at least before it was brought to a bit of a lull, courtesy of these two back-to-back safety cars. Tendo is crashing into everybody under the safety car. That's back-to-back penalties there, says a Sage figure of speech in the comment section. Tendo, you better watch yourself there. Making enemies on track is Tendo. We want to see animosity, or not animosity per se. We want to see a little bit of needle as far as wheel-to-wheel action is concerned. Not quite the on the crashing under safety car. That's something we do not want to see. Let's just recap and see the penalty situation. Falawe's 5 seconds will cost them dearly when all is said and done. And Quali also with a 5-second time penalty to contend with. Fastest driver on track is still Man Ray, 126.345. Man Ray mired down in P8. Has the fastest lap thus far. Who will snatch it before all is said and done? Prince of South Africa and Quali having a bit of a back and forth out here. Tendo, what the heck is going on? It's got 13 seconds worth of time penalties. Tendo, better watch yourself and not get disqualified here. What is going on with Tendo? 13 seconds worth of time penalties. He was running in P7. I'm not sure why. He overtook Man Ray and just did not give that position back. Man Ray will not be best pleased with that, as he comes closer and closer to the rear of the Ferrari. This, I surmise, should be the final lap behind the safety car. And Quali also tumbling down to the back of the pack now. So, yeah, a couple of issues here behind the safety car. And Quali looking to make light work of the ghost of Sanley Mazansi. Sanley, affected by load shedding, sadly, was in a great position to be challenging for the race win here. Safety car is in at the end of this lap as Lanuccio was urging Man Ray to jump into the pits under this safety car. It has nothing to lose all the way down in P7. Also considering that Sanley Mazansi is ghosted or is out of this here lobby. But Man Ray opted to keep track position. Will he come to regret that when all is said and done? Those mediums now 4 laps old. Falawe once again will set us back underway. Falawe will dictate the pace. And Marshy will try not to get caught out, as was the case at the previous restart. Spizozo, the Sultan of straight line speed, will look to make life a little bit difficult for Falawe as they all weave to the left and to the right, trying to get some temperatures into those tires. There goes Falawe, there goes Marshy. This time, not quite caught off guard. This time, well within a second. And he gets the exit of the final corner right. Does Marshy. This time, Spizozo slips further and further behind. His Royal Highness, the King Raptor, goes on the attack versus the Ferrari Superstar, the Sultan of straight line speed. But is he struggling here towards the initial traction zone of Sector 1? Yes, it looks like his Royal Highness, the King Raptor, much more comfortable. It's nose to tail action here as King Raptor looks to take the outside line. But will he be close enough to go for it? His Royal Highness, the King Raptor, goes a long way around and it ducks into the inside. They go wheel to wheel. Oh, they bad wheels. Spizozo goes into the wall. The Prince of South Africa overtakes him now. It's up to P4. The Prince of South Africa takes advantage of that moment of contact between King Raptor and Spizozo, who now has to contend with P5. Meanwhile, it looks like the midfield battle is going to rage on and on. The Prince of South Africa on those 5-lap-old softs is trying to give the Prince of South Africa some sleepless nights, is trying to go from Prince to King himself. But as they now surge towards turns number 8 and 9, the Prince of South Africa does not have an answer for the pace of the Alpine ahead. Meanwhile, Marshy fighting it out for the win of the race win over here versus Falawe, who has 5 seconds worth of time penalty to contend with. Drama at the race restart here in Abu Dhabi. Sensationally entertaining race once again in the BrakeAway Racing League. Oh, Spizozo becomes the latest driver to earn a time penalty for track limit incursions now, as Marshy is looking to stay within DRS. Has not used up too much of his battery power now, but he will feel he will have no choice but to use up that battery as His Royal Highness the King Rapture takes the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1 minute 26.320 that His Royal Highness the King Rapture has set here as the new benchmark. Spizozo relents and comes into the pit, having, of course, had that moment of contact, and he now slaps in a set of soft tires. Spizozo will not be best pleased with that moment of contact, which cost him a memorable possible podium out here. Work to do now for Spizozo, all the way from the back of the pack. Marshy is in P2. Falawe huffing and puffing, trying to make sure that he builds that gap now to 5 seconds. That is what he will need if he is to hang on to the race win. But as things stand, Marshy is going to be taking this race win, courtesy of Falawe's 5-second time penalty. Work to do, though. Marshy will want to overtake on track, despite the time penalty giving him a bit of an advantage. Meanwhile, down in P7 in Quali, was at the back of the pack at the restart of this race, now running in P7. As Spizozo is looking to catch up to their teammate, Just Tendo, and Quali inching closer and closer to the back of the Alfa Tauri of Esclexa. Now into the hotel section they come. And Quali better make sure that it is inch perfect, as DRS has now been enabled. We will hop back on the action between His Royal Highness the King Rapture and Marshy. The gap between these two now half a second. And of course, Marshy also trying to apply the pressure on the race-leading Falawe, who has done sensationally well here to go from the back of the pack to the lead of this race, for a very, very long time. His Royal Highness the King Rapture on the section of the track where he had that coming together with Spidozo. Now, less than half a second behind. Jackie Trapp says this is definitely the funniest race ever. So much drama from the start up until now. Absolutely unforced errors. Interesting setup by His Royal Highness the King Rapture, says Django. Tell us what you're seeing there, Django. Of course, a former champion of the top tier here. 24 of 29 laps elapsed. He loses ground to King Rapture as Marshy now goes on the attack in towards turn number 9 here. Tendo gets another time penalty here. It's a time penalty shootout as far as just Tendo was concerned, racking them up as Marshy is just looking to get this move done so as to not come under pressure from the chasing Royal Highness the King Rapture. Through the hotel section they come. Falawe on those 9-lap old hard tires, now looking to make something happen here. What is Marshy doing? Losing a little bit of ground. Oh, Marshy gets him completely wrong. Did he lose his connection there to the lobby? What in the world is going on? He lost it completely. Marshy, what is going on? He completely loses ground and the King Rapture goes through pretty much unchallenged over there. On board we go now. His Royal Highness the King Rapture now in contention. Marshy, is that a network issue? What is going on? Well, this is King Rapture versus Falawe for the race win. Marshy, in our view, is all the way down. Well, he's back up to P3. Perhaps network issues there. But Marshy losing all that ground in the space of a single lap. We're on board now with His Royal Highness the King Rapture, looking to retake the lead of this race. Now in towards turn number 9. On the inside, he goes through on Falawe, who has fought a brave race up until this point. Oh, and it's another time penalty for Falawe to go on top of the 5 seconds that he has to contend with. Oh no! He outbrakes himself, almost making contact with the King Rapture, but he looks to have applied the brakes well enough there to not make dramatic contact with the King Rapture there. Yellow flags, it seems, in towards the end of Sector 2 between the two Ferraris, Spizoso and Just Tendo. Now green flags as we go now to begin the 26th of a total 29 laps here in Abu Dhabi. Well, it's been a funny race. Jackie Trapp, oh, King Rapture, unforced error. Falawe will go on the attack. They bang wheels, and now Falawe is in the lead of this race. King Rapture, unforced error, is now down to P2 with less than 0.2 of a second separating them. In the lead of this race, it's unforced error after unforced error, really forcing all these drivers to give up the lead of this race. King Rapture was involved in a huge incident between Marshy and Man Ray, which lost him the lead in the early stages. And now, towards the chicane, turns number 6 and 7. He bides his time, does His Royal Highness the King Rapture. And I'll tell you what, Jackie was speaking about what a funny race of unforced errors it's been. Marshy is now has the front row seat to this battle for the race win, and Marshy has no time penalties, meaning Marshy just has to keep it clean here to get a memorable race win possibly. But can he do it? We've seen so many errors, unforced errors, force the issue here. And oh no, he also has a huge moment of his own, losing a little bit of ground over here through the hotel section. And as he does so, the Prince of South Africa looms in P4. The Prince of South Africa could be in prime position for a podium place here, depending on how the final 2 laps of this race will pan out. Drama in Abu Dhabi. Meanwhile, Eskexa is on the hunt versus Nkweli. This is the battle for P7 over here in the midfield. Django enjoying the drama as he sets up a fire emoji in the comment section. I cannot believe this. Oh! Unforced error! Eskexa gets it wrong! Eskexa is on the pit exit! Eskexa loses that! He was in prime position for P6 and now has to contend with just a P7. Unforced error again, forcing him to lose all of that. Now back towards the lead we go. Falawe trying not to outbreak himself into the rear of the Alpine of the King Rapture. And here comes Marshy now as Jackie Trapp is barely believing what we're seeing in this race. 2 laps still to go. Goucheche season is upon us, says Jangle in the comment section. Of course, Goucheche, of course, in reference to the spinning BMWs of South African lore. Here comes Marshy now with a golden opportunity to just bide his time, lay in the cut, and take advantage of what would be a memorable race victory here. Just watch them rack up the mistakes and take advantage here, Marshy. That is all you have to do. Stay within touching distance over here. The same, of course, word goes towards the Prince of South Africa, who has fallen further behind on those aging soft tires, as the 2 cars ahead of Marshy were flashing ever so briefly. Marshy knows what he has to do here now. Just keep it together. Falawe had an error, as did His Royal Highness the King Rapture. Then now going to go past the ghost of Stanley Mazansi. Oh, Marshy! Oh, the exit of turn number 5. We saw Marshy make adjustments, trying to adjust for oversteer there, but he's still within touching distance. He is still within just a couple of laps of what would be a sensationally memorable race win, courtesy of the mistakes ahead of him. But he may yet get that P2 spot on merit here. He may yet overtake Falawe here without needing the assistance of those time penalties. Watch it, Marshy. Turn number 9. Those lateral G-forces dragging that hat towards the right-hand side now as he navigated that potentially treacherous turn number 9. Jackie says, you know what, Marshy? No need to try and overtake here. No need to be audacious. You've got it in the bag. And Crowley, the latest driver, to earn a time penalty, 3 seconds here for warnings of track limits. So Marshy being told to just keep a cool head here as they now cross the line. Do King Rapture, Falawe, and Marshy to begin the 29th and final lap. Man Ray is hunting down the Prince of South Africa, who has really been struggling here on these aging soft tires. Man Ray, 12-lap old mediums, in a better position relative to those softs, which of course would be screaming at this particular point in time. The Prince of South Africa huffed and puffed. He tried his best, but seems that P5 may just be the best that he could contend with, because Man Ray will go for it down this DRS stretch towards the chicane of turns 6 and 7. Marshy in towards Falawe. Will he heed the advice that Jackie gave in the comment section? Does not seem to be the case. Marshy also running on scraps as far as battery power is concerned. Both the leading pair are flashing, meaning that battery's down to 10% or less. Marshy goes for it before turn number 9. Marshy is up to P2 on merit, on track. Now looking to get that race win without relying on time penalties. What a sensational race it has been. Is Marshy your driver of the day? Is it Falawe, who started this race from the back of the pack to possibly finish on the podium? I want to hear your thoughts. Oh, Marshy having a slide now in towards the hotel section. Falawe is giving it an almighty push, but the King Rapture will cross the line first, but time penalties mean Marshy will win in Abu Dhabi. King Rapture will come in P2. Will Falawe do enough? No, it's Man Ray into the podium places. The Prince of South Africa finishes P4. Falawe tried the best he could, but those time penalties cost him dearly, 7 seconds, meaning he will finish in P5. And Quali comes across the line in P6. As Texa, his race was filled with drama, P7 for them. Spy Zozo, the Sultan of straight line speed, now making the way towards the end of this race. It's going to be P8 for them. Tendo, were they lapped? No, they were not. San Lamazansi was. He will finish at the back in P10. And that is your race. Marshy, take a bow. Just Tendo will finish in P9. Sanley Mazanti in P10, the last of the running drivers. Marshy wins in Abu Dhabi. A sensationally entertaining Tier 2 showcase. Breakaway Racing League, that is what it is all about. Marshy, take a bow. Beautifully done, expertly driven. Driver of the day according to the game. Falawe fell, says Jackie Trapp. Of course, those time penalties costing them dearly. Is Marshy your driver of the day? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Gives a wave there. The pride of Haas. the pride over here taking the biggest trophy is on the podium. Man Ray did sensationally well to finally, make the way towards the podium. It was a race filled with drama, but Man Ray, in the end, managed to make it onto the podium. And I'll tell you what, Man Ray is the first person to join us in the commentary box. Congratulations. Take us through that. Your quali was sensationally competitive, and of course, heartbreak in the early laps, Man Ray. And in the end, you managed to claw your way back up to the podium. Take us through that experience. Congratulations. Uh, Sorry, just a moment, Man Ray. Your volume on your headset is very low. If you could please just adjust it, because I thought it was only me. There we go. That is much, much better. Yeah. Well. Well, Man Ray, I'm just going to recap what you said here. They're saying they can't hear you um, in the chat. So I do wonder if that is an issue with settings. So I'm just going to recap. Manor was saying he had issues in qualifying that ended up with his invalidation, and he was also saying that when they had that huge incident which cost him so many positions at the beginning of the race, he thought that his race was over. But as far as race pace was concerned, he did see that he did have an advantage relative to the midfield drivers around him. And towards the end, he did note, of course, that the Prince of South Africa was on aging softs, which, of course, give him an advantage. He did expect to finish in the top five, but in the end, of course, the Prince of South Africa's tire issues, coupled, of course, with some of the penalties of the drivers ahead, meaning Man Ray's race was, of course, a beautifully earned podium. And, of course, he is happy for his official podium. He is used to claiming podiums in the playoffs, says Man Ray. But now, of course, he has claimed one outright. Man Ray, just another question. Could you just take us through the amount of damage that you took in that incident early on, which took you all the way towards the back of the pack? Okay, all right. Manor saying, of course, that he didn't get too major damage there. Was clipped from the back. I just want to take a look at the upcoming race, Man Ray. It does not seem that the other podium finishers might be joining us in this lobby. So I'm just going to take a look at the upcoming race, which is Brazil, and how you feel for your prospects around that circuit. All right, there. Man Ray feeling very, very confident for the upcoming showcase in Brazil. Make sure to see whether or not he makes good on that. Of course, he's been looking very good in qualifying in this season, as, of course, he is getting better and better as far as that ABS assist being switched off. So we look forward to seeing you doing very, very well and possibly seeing you automatically promoted to the top tier come the end of the season. Thank you so much, Man Ray. We really appreciate that. And we will hopefully be seeing you do very well soon. We will catch you in the next race in Brazil. That was our Tier 2 showcase, folks. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Smirch Django, The Nucho, a.k.a. P, Sanale Mazansi, Romeo, Don Rabico, Sage Figure of Speech, and Titus have all been in the commentary chat here. We look forward to some beautiful Tier 1 action on this year's circuit tomorrow. Hopefully, it can be just as entertaining. Also, including, of course, the beautiful wheel-to-wheel racing action. That has been your race. Thank you, everybody, and good night.